The Galactic Council had never encountered a species quite like humans. As Commander Ross stared at the holographic display of the massive alien fleet blocking Earth's access to the hyperspace junction, he knew conventional tactics would fail. Outnumbered 50 to 1, outgunned by vessels 3 times their size, and facing technology centuries beyond their own, humanity stood on the precipice of becoming just another footnote in the Vraxian Empire's long history of conquest. "Any updates from the diplomatic channel?" Ross asked, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of tactical screens. Lieutenant Adams shook her head. The Vraxians responded with the same terms: unconditional surrender or complete annihilation. This had been the pattern across a dozen worlds in the sector. The Vraxians would arrive, demand capitulation, and either enslave the population or obliterate them depending on their perceived usefulness. No species had successfully resisted. Their technological advantage was simply too great. "Well," Ross said, leaning back in his chair, "it's time for Plan Omega." A hush fell over the bridge. Plan Omega wasn't a military strategy. It was something uniquely human. "Sir," Captain Miller interjected, "are you certain?" The Council advised against it. They said it could destabilize the entire sector. Ross smiled. "The Council doesn't understand humans, Tom, and neither do the Vraxians." On the Vraxian command ship, High Marshal Kroll watched with amusement as a single unarmed human vessel approached under a flag of truce. "How pathetic," he rumbled to his second-in-command. "They send one ship to beg for mercy." "Shall we destroy it as an example?" asked his lieutenant. "No," Kroll decided. "Let them come. I'd wish to see the fear in their eyes when they plead for their lives." The human delegation was escorted to the Grand Chamber. 3 humans entered: a gray-haired woman, a young man carrying what appeared to be a simple box, and a middle-aged man whose calm demeanor irritated Kroll immediately. "I am Dr. Wilson," the older woman said, "Chief Science Officer of Earth Defense. This is Jack, our logistics specialist, and Dave, our cultural attaché." Kroll loomed over them. "State your terms of surrender." Dr. Wilson smiled. "We're not here to surrender. We're here to trade." The chamber erupted in laughter. The Vraxians, towering beings with exoskeletons that sparkled with embedded technology, found the notion absurd. "What could you possibly offer us?" Kroll sneered. Jack stepped forward with his box, something you've never seen before. Inside was a collection of items that seemed worthless: a small plush toy, a glass bottle of brown liquid, a packet of seeds, and a data chip. "This," Dr. Wilson explained, "is a cultural exchange package. The toy is what our children treasure. The drink is what we call coffee. It affects our neurology in ways you might find interesting. The seeds grow into plants that produce more coffee, and the data chip contains human music, art, and stories." Kroll stared incredulously. "You think trinkets will save your world?" "Try the coffee," Dave suggested quietly. Annoyed but curious, Kroll ordered his scientists to analyze the liquid. Finding no toxins that would affect Vraxian biology, he permitted a small ceremonial taste. 3 days later, the Vraxian fleet remained in orbit, but no longer in attack formation. Kroll had requested, no, demanded, more coffee and music and stories. His officers had become obsessed with human sitcoms and something called hat videos. "It's working," Ross informed the Council via secure transmission. Phase 1 complete, moving to Phase 2. Earth's factories went into overdrive, producing items that cost nearly nothing to make, but that the Vraxians couldn't replicate: coffee, chocolate, spices, entertainment, art. Things that appealed not to logic but to senses, to pleasure centers, to curiosity. Within weeks, a trading post had been established. Within months, Vraxian ships were protecting Earth from other potential threats, not out of alliance but to secure their supply line. Human cultural products became the most valuable currency in that sector of space. "I don't understand," the Galactic Council representative complained. "Your strategy makes no logical sense. You've turned a military superpower into customers." "Humans have been doing this to each other for centuries," Ross explained. "We call it marketing. Sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't a gun or a bomb. It's making someone want what you have." 1 year later, As Ross toured the new human embassy on the Vraxian homeworld, he couldn't help but smile at the sight of Vraxian children playing with human toys, wearing human fashion, and humming human songs. "They came to conquer us with weapons," he remarked to Dr. Wilson as they watched Vraxian officials eagerly sign trade agreements. "We conquered them with cappuccinos and comedies." "The most innovative strategy," she replied, "was remembering that even aliens are people. People with desires, curiosities, and the capacity to enjoy a good cup of coffee." Behind them, Krull approached, wearing what appeared to be a human business suit modified for his exoskeleton. "Your next shipment of entertainment data is late," he grumbled. "My people are becoming impatient for the conclusion of this Game of Thrones you sent us." Ross suppressed a smile. "We'll expedite it immediately, High Marshal." As Krull walked away, Ross turned to the council representative. "You see, we didn't need to destroy them. We just needed to make ourselves indispensable to them. And that," Dr. Wilson added, "is the most human strategy of all."